to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 146, When Life Gets Messy. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. How are you doing? I'm your host, Lorraine Rise. As usual, you can learn more about myself and my amazing team of coaches and resume writers at careeruprising.com. So yes, please check it out and please give this show a rating and review on Apple. I would really appreciate it. So thank you for being here and for listening. And so it's October now, the time that we're recording this. So happy Halloween to everyone. I don't mind Halloween, but I've never been that much into it. It's fine. Even as a kid, I think I stopped trick-or-treating pretty early, like age 10 or something like that. But there's a lot of people in my neighborhood now who just go all out and they have skeletons in their yards and spiders on their mailboxes. And it's just cool. I mean, we've got a lot of people around here who are really into Halloween. But in my house, it's Christmas and Thanksgiving where we go all out and they are right around the corner. I'm already getting in the mood for the holiday season. I know it's only October, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people who's just as soon as fall comes, I want to start putting my Christmas stuff up. I just do. I'll wait a little bit longer, I promise. But anyway, I want to talk to you today about when life or your career or whatever gets messy. Because it does, there was just so much that went on for us this year. It was really intense. And it was, even still, when I think about the problems that I have, so many of them are still champagne problems, right? I mean, it's really, we're so blessed in so many ways, but still, there was a lot going on for us. Hospital visits, multiple ones, hospital bills, lots of those. Family deaths, work stress, new jobs, a new school for my daughter, just so many things. So it kind of made me want to talk about that, right? What do we do when things get stressful? There's the daily stress that we all have, commuting to our jobs, dealing with family, dealing with bosses, whatever it might be, toxic jobs, or maybe it's unemployment. That is very stressful too. So there's those stresses too, but then there's the times of crisis, right? When it all falls apart. The cancer diagnosis, the job loss, the divorce, whatever it might be. In today's show, I want to help you through whatever you're going through. It could be a career crisis, health, family issues, money issues. I've had them all at this point. And what I'm going to do is in the second half of the show, after the commercial break, I am going to share with you a little story about the biggest crisis that I ever had in my life and how I got through it. All right. So first, I want to share with you one thing that I have found to be true time and time again. And bear with me on this because you might not believe me. When things fall apart in your life, it is a sign that life is about to get really good. I mean it. I know. I can hear you now. What? When things all fall apart, life is going to get good? Yeah, it is. All right. Every crisis I have ever endured has always led me somewhere better. Everything that happens in your life is for your benefit. Everything. And if you don't believe me yet, it is okay, but just listen to the whole show and keep an open mind. Because I truly believe that when things fall apart, it is or are seemingly falling apart, It is because your life is making space for whatever needs to come next. And sometimes that requires things to end or fall apart and disintegrate, right? When you lose your job, you've made space for a better one. When a relationship ends, you can now attract a healthier one. When the diagnosis comes, the healing can begin. There are just some lessons in life, I think, that we have to learn by going through a crisis. I wish it wasn't that way, and I don't think that's always the case, but pain is such a gift and a teacher. It is. Every time I go through something heavy, I cannot help but experience new things and learn new things about myself and become a better person. But you got to be open to it. You got to be having the right mindset. Pain really is a gift. There is a quote that I love that I actually use and incorporate into my new book that speaks to this perfectly. It says, "Pain is a traveling professor, and it goes and it knocks on everyone's door. The smartest people I know are the people who say, 'Come in, and don't leave until you have taught me what I need to know.'" That's by Glennon Doyle. I'm sorry. That's I love that quote so much, and it was so apt for one of the chapters in my book. I put it at the beginning. So think about that. Pain is there to teach you. It's a warning that something either is wrong or you've reached a boundary or a limit in your life and something needs to change. And that is a good thing. It's a messenger. I mean, there's a lot of pain I see. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, you guys, as you could imagine. That's pretty much where my business is. So I see a lot of pain there. I see a lot of people every single day struggling to find work, posting, it's day 54 of my unemployment and things like that. People are getting laid off, forced back into the office, dealing with toxic jobs and bosses, whatever it might be. Whatever you are going through, though, the question you are probably asking yourself is, why me? Stop asking yourself that. If I could come through and smack some people through the microphone, I would, right? Stop it. Stop asking why me when things go wrong. That is the wrong question to be asking. Instead, I want you to ask, what can I learn from this? Or how will this make me a better person? Where is the hidden opportunity in this? If you can answer any of those questions, you will understand why it is happening to you. You'll get your original question answered, but I want you to frame it that way because it makes a big difference, okay? Why me is very powerless and it's very resistant, right? There's a feeling of resistance behind that word of why me? Why me? Go away. I don't want this. Versus a feeling of acceptance, of framing it as, what do I need to learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I turn this into an opportunity? That is very empowering. And that has an intention of acceptance behind it. So it makes an enormous difference what question you ask and what tone and what attention you set when you experience this pain. Okay. So I could preach to you guys all day long. I love an open mic, but what I'm going to do is when we come back, we're going to take just a quick commercial break. Okay. And where you're going to hear a little bit more about my new book that I've been working on, where we talk a lot more about this. But when we come back, I actually want to tell you a story. And what I'm going to do is read you just a very short excerpt from my new book, because I want you to hear a little story about how I actually went through this. Okay. And hopefully you'll be inspired and hopefully you can apply this in your own life. Okay. So let's just take a quick 1 minute commercial break. And when we come back, you're actually going to get a sneak peek of my book and I'm going to read to you just a couple paragraphs, just a short excerpt that I think will highlight the lesson for today's show very well. Okay. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey there, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Career Uprising. I have some exciting news for you. This show has been going steady since 2018, and I have amassed well over 100 episodes so far. So I decided to do something big and bold. I put the best of all of my teachings together in a book. That's right. I have a brand new book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all the major outlets. It's called What You Didn't Learn in School: Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. This book contains 30 powerful lessons from my podcast and my work as a career coach to help you live your best life. Learn how to increase your confidence, get rid of imposter syndrome forever, finally get clarity on your career path, and so much more. This book covers everything from careers to finances to health to relationships and more. Head over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your favorite book retailer and pre-order your copy of What You Didn't Learn in School. Then go to my website, careeruprising.com, to learn more about how Career Uprising can help you transform your career and your life. Let's get back to the show. Okay, guys, and we are back. So you probably heard that in the commercial break just now that I wrote a book, and I'm so excited and so passionate about this, you guys. It's called What You Didn't Learn in School: Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. Okay, so there's no math or chemistry in there at all. I wouldn't go near those subjects. It's all the big stuff, right? The really hard stuff in life. We tackle so many topics. It's coming out December 5th, but you can pre-order it now. And if you stick around after I read this excerpt, I'm going to tell you all the freebies that I'm giving away for people who pre-order it and don't wait. But back to the topic, I want to read you from one of the chapters, not the whole thing, just about a minute or so. But for context, for what I'm about to read you, I'm referring to the health crisis that I had back in 2019. I had a large ovarian tumor, and I learned a lot because we're talking about learning from our pain, right? So I go into a lot more detail in the book. That's really, where the heart of this is. It's in chapter 13, and it's called The Only Way Out is Through. So if you take anything away from today's show, it would be that, I hope, that sometimes when you are going through something, that's all you need to do is just keep going. Just go through it. There's no back door. There's no side door. There's no shortcut. You just go through. You just keep on walking before the devil even knows you're there, right? When you're going through hell. That's what they say. And that's the message of this chapter. So I'm going to tell you a little story as I read this. Okay, so here's a little snippet of chapter 13 talking about my diagnosis. What I learned about myself and about life in this experience was so clear and so profound, it could not be ignored. I had in front of me what anyone would justify as a problem, something to complain about, something to fear or worry about, a reason to panic. And at first I did. I fell into a panic and wallowed in self-pity and cried for about 48 hours thinking I had cancer. And allowing yourself to do this is necessary. Feel your emotions, whatever they are, as scary as they are. They're just emotions. Emotions themselves don't actually hurt you. Feel them with no buffering, no avoiding. When you are facing something scary, allow yourself to go there, really go there, at least for a short time. But don't live in fear. Just visit. You're just passing through. Coming that close to my mortality taught me that once you get down low, then you can come up. And yes, you always come up. First the pain, then the uprising. Once you fully feel and accept your pain, it's inevitable that your head will float back up above water and your pain will transform into your power. This is how pain works. It has nowhere else to go but up. And this is the first step to solving any problem. Fully accepting and feeling your emotions in the moment. Let them see the light of day. After all, they're just emotions. They're completely natural and nothing to be afraid of. A crisis like this is a reminder that you are a human and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now. Living, breathing, having experiences, feeling emotions. For me to truly live these words and act on what I believed was difficult, but comforting at the same time. It became so clear to me why so many people say that tragedies or setbacks end up being their greatest gifts and greatest motivators. In order for me to live the principles that I coach my clients on, it meant that I had to admit that even if the diagnosis came back as cancer, that itself was not a problem. The only problem would be what I would be making it mean. And initially, in that first 48 hours where I let myself panic, I was making it mean that I was going to have to do chemo and radiation and get sick, lose my hair, my business would stop, and maybe I would even die. That's pretty much what we make a diagnosis mean, right? But what if it didn't mean that? And that's a bold thought, I know. You really can't tell someone facing that kind of news that it only means that they're going to be miserable and maybe die if they let it. But isn't that really what's true? Isn't that true for every problem? The suffering doesn't enter the picture until you start thinking thoughts of suffering and feeling feelings of suffering. It's one of those beliefs that sounds good and it makes sense intellectually, but to live it and experience it for all its grace, freedom, and opportunity was one of the greatest gifts of my life. Having cancer is a fact, not a problem. And I came close enough to actually having it to feel at least somewhat qualified to say that. Apply this concept to anything in life, no matter how traumatic. Losing a loved one, a terminal illness, bankruptcy, childhood trauma, and so on. The problem is created by what you make it mean. So there you have it, you guys. That was my reading voice. Did you like that? I put my reading voice on, so you know. So that was a little snippet of chapter 13 from my book called The Only Way Out is Through. And I felt like that was really appropriate for this topic today. So what are you making your pain mean? And yes, you get to decide what the crisis you are experiencing means. So choose carefully. If it's a career crisis, well, maybe my team and I can help you. Consider getting help. Not a therapist here, but a good motivator and a life coach and somebody who can certainly help you through lack of confidence, lack of clarity, unemployment, just frustrating job search. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, any of those things. There is help. Or if you can't afford that yet, or you're just not sure you're ready, in all earnestness, consider reading my book, consider ordering it. And I say that not just for self-serving purposes, but honestly, it's a really affordable way to get motivation and clarity. That is why I wrote it. That's the whole point. And there's actually another chapter in there that I will mention, chapter 17, Pain into Power. Very, very similar message. I think that one is a terrific complement to this topic as well. So if you guys do feel the inclination to pre-order the book, I would so appreciate it. And I am standing by ready to reward you with lots of freebies and goodies. I've actually had the first crop of people email me their receipts and their screenshots, and they are on the list. I will actually be sending out the first batch of freebies probably tomorrow, very soon. But if you pre-order the book, so buy it before December 5th, this is what you will get. Are you guys ready? An invitation to my book release party in December. I will be showcasing chapters just like this, probably doing a little reading and doing free on-the-spot coaching for attendees. So you definitely want to come. This will be on Zoom where you can actually interact with me or Google Meet, something like that. But you'll get an invitation to my book release party in December. You will get all 3 meditations in my online store. And meditation is very, very powerful. It has been one of the keys to my success. So if you are new to it, I can also teach you a little bit about it and coach you through that. You can try the ones that I have. You'll get all 3 of those. You'll also get a free digital copy of my first book that I wrote, my ebook called Career Uprising, Unlock Your Potential and Advance Your Career. You will get a meaty, big new product that I have called the Premium Do-It-Yourself Job Search Kit. This has never been sold or released before. And it's only for people who pre-order the book. You'll get 15 guides and cheat sheets that I've made to help you land a new job right away. Okay, covering everything from LinkedIn to interviews and salaries, much more. 15 books you get in this. Then you'll get entry into a raffle to win a free 30-minute coaching session with me to help you up-level your career. Woohoo! So you get the book, you get the ebook, the meditations, invitation to the party, the job search kit, and entry into a raffle to coach with me. That is huge. So here's what you need to do. After you pre-order the book, either send me a LinkedIn message or email me at Lorraine@careeruprising.com to show me just some proof, screenshot, or your receipt, and I will add you to the list to get the goodies within just a few days. You can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to amplifypublishinggroup.com. There's a number of places. If you're not sure, you can always just go to my LinkedIn page. There's right below my photo, there's a link right there that says, buy the book. So click on that. That'll get you there as well. I hope this was an impactful message for you today. I hope you enjoyed that little coffee house kind of book reading that I just did. So that's it. I have more topics coming in November. We're going to talk about transitioning in and out of self-employment in the corporate world. So if for those of you who are, have done consulting or thinking about starting it, kind of dipping in and out of self-employment and what happens with that, we're going to talk about that. And what happens when you've had a long job tenure and you have to move on, 20, 30 years at a company and you're job searching and you're terrified, right? Or don't know what you want to do. Those are the topics we're going to cover in November, and I'm really excited about it, okay? So happy Halloween. I love you all. Be sure to pre-order the book and head over to my website to check it out. But I hope you guys have a wonderful 2 weeks, and I will be back soon. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show was brought to you by InflowRadio.com. The best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.